Oshkosh would benefit from their next opponent, WRST College, as the Duhawks upset Washington University of St. Louis in their regional final, which gave Oshkosh, the higher seed, hosting rights for the second round. The Titans opened up the scoring in the sectional round just 8 minutes in.
Brian Miller, Gillian far side, shot on goal, is in the back of the net, and the Titans score in the opening minutes of the first half. It is Devin Prideaux. And it's 1-0 Titans on a quick counterattack coming. A beautiful pass. Excellent execution by Oshkosh, and they take a 1-0 lead.
That was an amazing pass, but even a better job of bringing the ball down with your chest. So often you'll see balls played in like that. It'll go off, the attacking player's chest. It'll go too far ahead of them. It's an easy ball for the keeper to corral. But Prideaux did a great job. There was nothing that Wickman could do about it. Just a great finish for the senior striker from Oshkosh. And that is absolutely huge to get a lead this early in a game of this magnitude.
The senior Prideaux, with a gorgeous goal, gave Oshkosh the early lead. A lead that Tim Stadler would add to later on in the first half.
Andy Cole to take the corner. Borski awaits near him. We'll see if Cole goes for the box. He has elected at times to tap it to Borski. He does go into the box. The header goes in, the back of the net, and the Titans add an insurance goal, 2-0. They lead it in the first half, still with 21.5 minutes to play.
2 more points for Tim Stadler. He now leads the team with 25 on the season, but that was beautifully placed. That was right at the penalty spot. Stadler still has to finish, but how about Andy Cole on the corner kicks? Can you do it any better than he's done this entire tournament? He has been outstanding with that left foot from that near side.
Titans goaltender James Pike, along with the rest of the Oshkosh defense, would continue their stellar play as they pitched their second straight shutout of the tournament on their way to the sectional final.
15 seconds remain. The crowd's starting to get into it. Ball sent in. Pike is there. The players ecstatic, the fans ecstatic, as the Titans will take the victory over the Duhawks, 2-0 in the first semifinal game of this sectional tournament.
The Calvin College Knights would be the last team standing between the Titans and a trip to the Final Four. After a scoreless first half, in which both teams exerted their defensive prowess, it would be Oshkosh's go-to guy, Tim Stadler, on a set piece.
Kumitz is there for Kelvin, has the ball at his feet, dribbles toward midfield, and a pass to Kalago as he's pressured by both Starnes and Gillian. As now Starnes pass to the far side. Cole will send it up for Gillian, bounces off his chest, makes a move past the defender, had the ball at his feet, hits the dirt. We got a free kick awarded for the Titans.
Really just outside of the arc at the top of the 18, and Gillian tried to make a move to his right, did get clipped. I believe it was a correct call, and Ahern is arguing a little bit, but that was, we don't see that much from Robbie Gillian. He's normally cool, calm, collected, has the ball in space, and as a distributor, that's really what you'll see from Gillian. But he's got some moves we just saw right there, and if he doesn't get clipped, he's going to have a rip at the net.
It's Cheney, Cheney, Stadler, and Gillian lining up behind this ball. A 5-man wall being formed by Kelvin. Everyone in the box for them. Stadler takes the free kick far side, and he nails it. And a set piece that dribbles in to the near side post. Tim Stadler. In a celebration, a dance with Will Cheney near side. The fans explode in cheers. 29:07 remaining in the second half, and Oshkosh takes a 1-0 lead.
That was beautifully taken by Stadler. You see so often players will try and bend it into the top corner or bend it over the wall, but I think that's the most effective way. You play it low, keeper might not be able to see it, but that is just extremely well taken by Tim Stadler.
The game's lone goal by Stadler would hold up, and the Titans were on their way to a Final Four appearance.
Near side touchline, 10 seconds remaining. The throw-in taken quickly by Willis. Murray sends it back into the box, headed toward goal. It's still freed up. Cheney boots it over the far side touchline. The buzzer sounds, and the UW-Oshkosh Titans are headed to San Antonio, Texas, in a trip to the Final Four. They win it here in Oshkosh at J.J. Killer Field at Titan Stadium. Final score 1-0 over the Calvin College Knights of Michigan. And the team celebrates toward midfield. The Titans fans are elated in the stands. A lot of fist pumping. You hear the cowbells, the signs going up. The mascot giving a couple of thumbs up here as this team has played their way to warmer weather, Chris.
And they earned it. There's no doubt, if anyone saw or listened to or attended any of these games in the Oshkosh Regional and Sectional, that the team that won was the best team that came out of this sectional. And Oshkosh, they played the best. They played their game. They possessed the ball. They capitalized on huge set pieces all weekend long, both weekends really. And they earned it. They have played an amazing tournament so far, but I'm sure if you ask anyone on the team, anyone on that sidelines, that they have a lot more work to do, because they have been to the semifinals before but never passed.
And you heard it there from Chris Miller at the end there. This team has been to the semifinals 3 other times but never passed this opening game of the championships, as a collection of calls there from the regional and semifinal, or regional and sectional action. All 4 games for the Titans hosted here at Titan Stadium and at J.J. Keller Field here in Oshkosh. And we'll bring Brian and Chris back on. And right now, Brian, Chris, we talk about this team, and guys, you were there for every single game, as you just heard. What did this team really do well? We highlighted all the goals, but really this team has been predicated on defense all year long.
Yeah, it has been defensively a successful season for Oshkosh. It's been more than impressive. I think you look back at previous years, as far as our tenure has been, when we've been witnessing the soccer team, and head coach Toby Barr's in there for a very long time. I think what was most impressive is the ability of head coach Vitsa Molinar to come in initially as the interim head coach. He didn't know how he would perform this season, and then suddenly he comes in here, they make a trip to the Final Four, and this team explodes during the regular season. Chris, words can't express. I mean, the stats on paper say it, that this team performed well above expectations this year.
Yeah, what they did best, to answer your question, flat out, BJ, what they did best is what they do best, and that's possess the ball, play. It's not even solid defense. It is lockdown defense. Yep. They don't allow shots. James Pike is hardly ever tested, back in net, and they did that throughout the regional and throughout the sectional. It was absolutely amazing to watch. After that they only allowed 1 goal, and it was in their first match to Carroll University, and it wasn't as if Carroll was doing anything that impressive. They won a free kick, and they capitalized on it, and that was it. That was really the only time they were really tested, the entire tournament. And it's going to be obviously a different feel to it today. Much better opponent, nothing against the 4 teams that Oshkosh played previously, but they're going to have their work cut out for them, because Messiah tries to do the exact same thing Oshkosh does. They will possess them. They will hold the ball, as long as you let them. If you don't have the ball, you're not going to score. That is obviously a very true statement, and that is what these 2 teams are predicated on. And really, whoever does that the best today, whoever forces the other team to play their hand, is going to have a leg up on the other today.
Guys, we talked, and you heard in the road to San Antonio, Tim Stadler kind of played out of his mind during the regional and sectionals. What can you say about this junior?
Well, he was huge for this team all year, but he really, you mentioned, he's exploded. This 3 goals in 4 games. 1 was on a PK, 1 was on a header off of a corner kick, and 1 was off of a direct free kick that he put right in the back of the net. So if there's a set piece anywhere on this field, look for the ball to go towards the head or to the foot of Tim Stadler, because he has been so clutch for this team. He leads the team in points, with 8, but he's far and away the leader in goals. He's got 5 more goals than anybody else, and he's a leader. He was in the in the bus on the way over here. He was firing guys up. He was elbowing people, is giving them, the proverbial head nod, really, is saying, I'm ready, are you ready? And everybody just kind of was really feeding off of that. So he's a very good leader for a junior on and off the field. But Stadler has been absolutely huge for this team. He's a midfielder who. He's listed as a midfielder / defenseman, so he's all over this place. He's in both 18s whenever he needs to be, and he rules the middle 80% of the field. Also, he's absolutely been the standout for Oshkosh so far this season.
He's definitely played the most minutes out of any player on the team, just being out there besides the keeper at least. But he's on the field, like you said, being a midfielder defender. That's asking a lot of somebody. He even played the forward position at some points during the game. And to say that he is a junior, that's the other point, is that he's got one more year left. So who knows what to expect from him next season, regardless of how they finish up this year. He's got one more year left, and it'll be an impressive tenure here at UW Oshkosh for Tim Stadler.
Now, fellas, this team was at home for both the regional and sectionals. How big of a factor do you think that played in getting them to San Antonio?
I think we owe a lot to to Loras College to be down here. They beat Washington University of St. Louis, and Washington University had a bye. They also have one big thing with being able to host regional and sectional tournaments is your facilities. First off, and they have unbelievable facilities in every with every sport down at Washington University in St. Louis, and Loras beating them really helped Oshkosh because we were planning our trip to St. Louis after Oshkosh won their second round game against North Park, and then we find out that Loras beat Washington University, and then we couldn't have been happier, and I'm sure the Titan team. The men's soccer team could not be happier that they got to stay at home. They didn't have to travel for a weekend, and that played a little bit of a factor. But it's soccer. Anything can happen. Anything can happen in sports. That's the beauty of athletic competition. Anything can happen. It can change 180 degrees in the blink of an eye, and that's really what happened. I'm not going to say Oshkosh wouldn't have made it had they not been at home, right. But it definitely helped being at J.J. Keller Field at Titan Stadium.
I was going to say the caliber of this team is defined by, and all teams that are at this point, all Final Four teams, Bowdoin, Lynchburg, Messiah, UW Oshkosh, they all, throughout the regular season and through the postseason, have learned how to deal with the conditions, with the traveling, and that's why they're here. They deserve to be here. Oshkosh, regardless if they played at home or not for the sectional tournament, I think that would not have come into play as much of a factor as it would have been expected to be. They did get the privilege of playing at home, but both teams had to battle those conditions. It's an equal playing field no matter where you're playing. I think the home field advantage was probably there with the fans that traveled for all the teams that played in that sectional tournament. But like I said, defining the success of a team also defines how they handled the conditions, the traveling during the regular season and the postseason to get to this point.
All right, fellas, we're going to take a break. We'll catch up with you in about 10, 15 minutes.
Sounds good.
All right, appreciate it, guys.
Adios.
And that's Brian Scholes, Chris Miller, live from San Antonio as we are less than a half an hour away from the start of the match between Messiah College and UW Oshkosh, and we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we'll take a look at how Messiah got to the Final Four and how Messiah made their way to San Antonio. This is the WRST Sports Soccer Pregame Show right here on 90.3 WRST. And welcome back to the WRST Sports Soccer Pregame Show as we await the start of the match between Messiah College and the University of Wisconsin-Oshkosh in the Division III Soccer Championships down in San Antonio, Texas. The first semifinal. We'll have it live for you in just over 20 minutes. Brian Scholes, Chris Miller standing by. So we talked how Oshkosh got to San Antonio. Let's take a look at how the Messiah College Falcons were able to get to San Antonio. First, a quick look at Messiah. They're located out of Grantham, Pennsylvania. The university was founded in 1909. They have a current enrollment of just under 3,000. They're out of the Middle Atlantic Conference, and the nickname the Falcons from Messiah College in Pennsylvania. So, Messiah College, The third-ranked team in the nation received a first-round bye. So they took on the winner of Maritime and Montclair State. The